that means. I call it you've heard the term medical kidnapping.
Story time. Now, before I go further onto my story time, I would suggest you watch the content creator's videos so you can get more context. And yeah, she's a clinician. So I made a video relatable to this topic of what this content creator is talking about. And this is the video, back in November 14th, 2022. I'm just giving you a warning, this might be a bit of a long story, which starts back in 2018 when I officially became homeless. That was when my ex had put me out of his place and had some issues where my cousin had welcomed me to stay with her, but it only lasted for 4 days, then stayed with my mother, and that almost lasted for a month where, holy shit, that's another story that I'll tell maybe in the next video. Anyway, but then I was put into a homeless shelter for about 7 months. And in that meantime was where I was going for counseling or for therapy sessions, and also seeing if I can get references through different agencies that can help me out with mental health housing. So after the long wait was when I got a call from my care coordinator who had told me that she reached out to a mental health housing agency and they were looking for clients to fill in like this available spot that they had. And before you actually move into the residence, you do have to do a trial. Sometimes it varies. It could be for 3 days, sometimes it could be for 7. In that case, I went to the trial, and to be honest with you, it was horrible. I walked into a house where the kitchen was looking extremely disgusting with piles of dishes on the counters, piles of dishes in the sink. It just looked like as if nobody cleaned up after they were done cooking. And what was really messed up was I ended up having to clean up all of this clutter and disgusting mess with one of the roommates. And the mess belonged to this problematic roommate who's been staying way before other roommates had came through, including myself. Now, this problematic roommate would used to have friends to come over who were just a bunch of freeloaders, substance abusers. So you could just imagine, it was uncomfortable. Now, in other videos, I had mentioned how she had poisoned me, and that's how I was sent over to the hospital at first. And then next, I was sent to a psych ward against my own free will. Well, that was because I had a situationship with her little brother, and the fact that I saw him for who he truly was, that I just dumped him, and he didn't take rejection so well. And due to that, he would used to contact me in multiple phone numbers, cyberstalked me, cyberbullied me, even doxed me, but through a different profile with a different name, and I have all the screenshots to prove it. This is what I mean. And another one. And this is all the different Facebook accounts that this dude kept on trying to reach me on Facebook Messenger. This is the person he sent to come after me to curse me out on Facebook Messenger. And another one. Mind you, this was some woman that their father used to date before he passed away. And this is who this bitch is. Matter of fact, she has a TikTok account. I made sure to block her so she won't ever find me. So this is her first TikTok account. And the second one, just like she's got 2 Facebook profiles or more. That's weird. Now, anyway, so it came to the point because of all of that nonsense, I ended up deciding to go to family court and filing a restraining order, and it was granted by the judge. So yeah, and I remember the date of when I went to that courthouse was the same day when they announced that COVID had took place. Now, because of that, that became such a long process of when we were going to have our official court date, which had to be virtual. And that was dated on September 25th of 2020. But then now my birthday hits on September 11th. And this girl decided to like spike whatever in the fridge that, you know, was my food. And that's when I didn't feel like myself. Okay, so I would say about like 3 days before my birthday, was when I noticed I didn't feel like myself and decided to go on a fast and just drank water. And that was still not helping. I was pretty adamant like this girl had put something in my system. And the thing was is that as soon as I saw my father and I told him what was up, I was rushed to the hospital, but not in my own town. We literally went from Suffolk County all the way to Manhattan. And I was put in New York Presbyterian Hospital, where as soon as I gave like my urine sample and all, that's when they had found like a high percentage of THC in my system. And without acknowledging me that I was going to a psych ward, that's where they took me. Against my own free will. Now, from what this woman was talking about, as far as it comes to medical kidnapping, I'm not really too sure about the New York laws when it comes to this, but I'm going to do my research on it. If there's anybody within the New York state that seems to be very knowledgeable about this stuff, I'd really appreciate it if you put it down into the comments. But yeah, that is traumatic. Like that's what's in what feels like a mental prison inside of my head. And yeah, I went through that shit. So yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick and make it into a short story because, like I said, I've made a video about this previously. Just would have to scroll down to find it, or I would have to pin it. But I mostly pin like spiritual stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, if you actually stood through the whole video, I thank you very much, and God bless. Alright guys, bye.